Stop. Now wait a minute, Mr. Post Bicycle Buyer. Before you buy that steel horse, that custom carbon craft, or that alum, before you buy a new bike, are you going to give that nice lady at the bicycle shop your very hard money for a great frame or awesome parts? In this here video today, we're going to see what we should invest in. Great parts or an absolutely fabulous frame. And also we're going to learn about what manufacturers do, a little trick they do called the Goldilocks effect. Stay tuned. Let's find out where you should put your money. Frame, parts. Have you got your pennies? So, you've got your pennies, you saved up your hard-earned money, and you've narrowed it down, the choice of bicycle you want. But you're not sure what to go for. What you have to look out for is what a lot of companies are doing. It's a very popular practice, and it's called the Goldilocks effect. So watch out for this before you decide. Now, what that means is, all it is companies give you tiers of a bicycle. So this is my Merida Big Trail 600. Now, in the range of Merida Big Trails, there are different level of bikes. So all the Goldilocks effect is they produce a bicycle, but then they do the same bicycle with, say, a lower tier and then another one, a higher tier. And psychologically, we are primed to go for the middle tier. Middle one, please. And the manufacturers know this. For example, this bicycle here is the Big Trail 600 and it's the top tier. It was £2,000, but there's also a Big Trail 300 for £1,000. There's a Big Trail 500 for £1,400, and this one was £2,000. Now, what I found is, even though there's different levels of this bicycle, they all have the exact same frame. So I've paid £2,000 for this bike for a frame that I can get exactly the same frame on a £1,000 bike. So if you were looking for the frame, you're better off not buying this £2,000 bike, buying the £1,000 bike, and then you will get exactly the same frame. The Merida Big Trail 300 is only £1,000, but you will get the same frame that is on a £2,000 bike. All that's different is the parts. We have lovely parts. So on this here expression of my bicycle example, I have paid £2,000 for parts, because this frame on the £1,000 bicycle means the frame is worth about £400-500. So if you want parts, you've got to look out for the tiers, the Goldilocks effect. Because if you love this frame so much and you know you're going to upgrade it, just get the cheaper bike. But if it's the parts you're after, then go for the higher tier. Because if you're not gonna change parts, then go for the higher tier. It's a different story with this bicycle. This is the Scott Scale Gravel 10, and this is also in a family of 3 tiers. It starts with the Scott Scale Gravel 20. Now, we have the Scott Scale Gravel 20. We have my one, this here, the Scott Scale Gravel 10. And we have the Scott Scale Gravel RC. Now, in this tier, this is a different story. They are all different frames. So if you go to the lower tier, it's an aluminium frame. And you go to this frame, it's a carbon frame. And if you go to the RC, which is a 4,500 pound bike, you get the really top-notch elite frame. So if you were going for frames, you could rest assured that they're all different frames in this range. And this is a very nice frame. What are we talking? It's a 2,000 pound bike, so that makes this at least a 1,000 pounds frame. So what should you go for with your hard-earned cash saved up? Should you go for a cheaper frame and brilliant parts? We have a nice pike fork that is super. On this, we have the XT, we have the Dior, we have the dropper seat post. We have lovely parts on this. Or do you want to put your money into a good frame? Now, I would suggest if you're the type that does not want to tinker with your bike, you're just happy with it as is, you're not bothered about upgrading in the future, you just want a decent bike, get on, fit and forget, I would go for parts. If you're not bothered, you're not going to change them, maybe you're not mechanically minded, maybe you haven't got time, you just want a nice bike, go for the parts, get good parts. They'll see you in good stead. However, if you're like me and you like to fiddle about with your bicycle, you're always tinkering, you're never happy, you have to change things, then I would invest in a good frame. I would look at the bicycles, look at the Goldilocks effect, narrow it down and see if you can get that frame in the lower tier. Because what you don't want to do is buy a bike. So say like you say you want to get the frame, you've bought your bike for £2,000 and then you realise you could have spent £1,000 on this because you're going to swap the parts anyway. So if you like to swap parts, if you're not really satisfied, if you like sometimes the new colours and new trends and new materials, if you're going to do that, then invest in the frame. Get a good frame and don't worry about the parts.
Anything else, Bob?
Another consideration is wear and tear. Your components will wear out over time. So inevitably, you will have to do some kind of upgrade or change. So just bear that in mind. You're going to have to change parts in the future anyway. But the dearer parts, the more expensive, are going to last longer. They're going to last longer. They're going to work better. They're going to be more effective. They're going to be lighter and stronger. So consider that. Then you have to consider what material you want. Steel, aluminium, or carbon. What is right for you? In conclusion, what frame should you buy? Well, remember the Goldilocks effect and how manufacturers are using this every day in everything. And in the bikes, you will mainly go for the middle tier. See if your frame is on a cheaper bike. And if it is, then have a look at which tier you want, and you might like the better parts one. Or you might like the lower tier, and you might be happy with that. If you want a top frame, then you need to look at if that frame is on the lower tiers. What would you do, Bob? Me, personally, I like to go for the frame because I can upgrade later, change the parts, And I love my Merry Big Trail 600, but there's something at the back of my mind niggling me that this frame is on a half the price bicycle. So I've paid £2,000, and if I loved the frame that much, I only had to pay £1,000, and that, the Merida Big Trail 300 for £1,000, is an absolute bargain. Or you could just buy the frame itself. Go out, you can get a really nice frame now for as little as £350. The Marins are cheap and very strong and really nice. The Surleys are a little bit more expensive, but they are a nice frame. So there's that option. Hope this has helped. Thank you for watching. Join me next time because I'm going for a bicycle ride. Which one will I choose? I don't know.
There goes my hero.
Up to wheels.